I just wanted to share one idea about last week's parsha in context of the Chatufim. And Mali, you said that they're all supposedly innocent, and I know that you're being sarcastic, but
Yeah.
I think you're being sarcastic. Ramban answers the question about why Shimon and Levi killed all the men of Shechem, since only one of them raped Dinah, and rape is not punishable by death. She wasn't betrothed to anybody. She wasn't married to anybody, and so he basically asks a very difficult halachic question: why they decided to kill all the men. And the answer he gave is because one of the Sheva Mitzvot Noach is lakim batei din lishpot tzedek between people. And of course, technically, they can have even laws like Sodom and Gomorrah and have a Beit Din for that law. But Ramban says basically the fact that nobody cared, and he specifically talks about the Khatifa. He's not talking about the rape, because rape, like I said, is not punishable by death. But in last week's Parsha, in Parsha Mishpatim, it says, Gonev ishu mecharo v'nimtza b'yado mot yumat. So it's not only the person himself or herself that did the kidnapping, it's also all the people who are helping and not giving them in, or giving information to Tzahal to be able to release them. They don't have to, they could be a anonymous call. Our neighbor has a Hatuf, and nobody will be able to identify that they're the ones who gave in that information. And of course, in the time of Yaakov, there was no such thing as phones. But all I'm trying to say is that Ramban very clearly says that it was the responsibility of all those men who were covering up for Hamor, for Shechem ben Hamor, in terms of not returning Dinah to the family. And so that's how he decided that that's why Shimon and Levi were justified in the execution of all those men. It's not really connected to this parsha, but I was reading this morning the Noam Elimelech because I really have a hard time understanding him, because he talks, everybody in Noam Elimelech is a tzaddik. It doesn't matter what your level of observance is, everybody's a tzaddik. And so he talks about the question that a lot of rabbis have about the Aron. The Aron is the first utensil that is mentioned in the collection for the Mishkan, and few rabbis pointed out the fact that it's the only utensil that all of its measurements are in halves, meaning it's amatayim v'chetzi orka, ama v'chetzi rokba, ve'ama v'chetzi kumata. Others have like amatayim orka and ama v'chetzi kumata, or other combinations, but this is the only one that all three, length, width, and height, are in measurements of half. And so Noam Elimelech says about that, it's something similar that we talk about the Vilna Talmud. It says, וחצי פירוש ואל יחשוב הצדיק שעשה ופעל הכל כראוי, אלא יחשוב שלא פעל אלא חצי. היינו מקצת מה שיש לו לפעול, שיחזיק עצמו במידת ההכנעה. So in our prayer, we always say that תפילה עושה מחצה. So it's not only limud Torah, it's also prayer. We do half. The other half is up to Hashem. And especially in the Mishkan, the Aron was for the Torah. And the Torah, a person should never ever say that he completed the whole Torah. He could say that he got to 80% or 70% even. Yeah, I think that that's an exaggeration. But Chetzi is a good way to look at it. I'm doing the best I can. Today I can learn another hour, so that will be, another part of Torah that I learned, but I can't ever get to the shlemut of the Torah, because it's just impossible. And what I mentioned about the Vilna Talmud, it was printed by the widow and the Achim Rom, Reish Aleph Mem, but the Aleph, the Yiddish Aleph, which is like an O sound. Obviously, she wasn't always a widow, because otherwise she wouldn't have two sons. But after her husband died, she decided to get permission from somebody, I'm not sure who even, to print the Talmud. That way, everybody will have the same exact Ma'adura. If I say Bet Amud Aleph, everybody now in the world knows what I'm talking about. Before that, there were a few different kinds of print, a few different manuscripts, and so she decided that
Who's she?
We don't know her name. Almana, a widow, and the Achim, the brothers Rom. In Vilna, they started in 1881 and they completed around 1888. And so the legend that we always heard was that every Masechet starts with Daf Bet, and so the legend is basically why doesn't it start with Daf Aleph? Because you can never say that you learned the whole Masechet because there's Daf Aleph that you never learned. I think it's just a legend because what I think is that because they were so proud of the work they did, and they rightfully so proud, Daf Aleph was basically the list of all the Tosafot that they added. And they added Rav Shmuel Strashon, who has a commentary on every single daf of the Talmud, 2,200 pages. Like even Rashi doesn't have a commentary on every single page. So Rashi and Tosfot, Rosh, Rif, Ran, Rashash, and a few others, and they list them all on Daf Aleph, and just reading some of these introductions, it's just unbelievable. And it says in the Gemara, "Hakol talui b'mazal afil sefer Torah shebaychal." So I think that's referring to this, that when they could have printed 30 other mefarshim as well, but I guess time and space and money, but that's how they did it. And so now people just say we never learned Daf Aleph. So and that's a chetzi as far as I'm concerned.
Wow, that's good. I never heard